What made you realize your squad leader was protecting you from toxic leadership? I was a specialist, 6 months into my first duty station in Germany. Fresh out of training, trying my best not to screw up. That's when Staff Sergeant Holloway became our new squad leader. Quiet guy, didn't talk much during formation, just watched everything with these calm, calculating eyes. I figured he was another by-the-book NCO who'd make my life miserable if I stepped out of line. Our platoon sergeant was this guy named Sergeant First Class Pruitt, 22 years in, decorated combat veteran. Everyone was terrified of him. Pruitt had this thing where he'd find one soldier per month to absolutely destroy. Not physically, mentally. He'd pick apart everything you did until you either transferred out or got chaptered. 3 guys had left our platoon in 4 months. Good soldiers. Just couldn't handle Pruitt's constant harassment. Week 2 under Holloway, I made my first mistake. Left my rifle unsecured in the arms room for maybe 40 seconds while I grabbed cleaning supplies. Pruitt saw it. "Specialist Brennan!" His voice echoed across the motor pool. "Get over here, now!" My stomach dropped. I'd heard that tone before. Right before he destroyed someone's career. I jogged over, already rehearsing my apology. But Holloway got there first. "Something wrong, Sergeant?" Holloway asked, positioning himself between me and Pruitt. "Your soldier left his weapon unsecured. Clear violation. I'm writing him up." "Actually, Sergeant, I told Brennan to grab supplies while I watched his rifle. My fault for not being clear about it." Complete lie. Holloway wasn't even in the arms room, but he said it with such confidence that Pruitt couldn't argue. Pruitt's eyes narrowed. "Fine, but you better control your soldiers, Holloway." After he left, I tried to thank Holloway. He just shook his head. "Get back to work." Second incident happened 3 weeks later. I was doing vehicle maintenance, forgot to sign out a tool from supply. Small mistake. But Pruitt caught it. Started screaming about accountability and responsibility, how I was going to lose sensitive equipment and get people killed. The usual speech he gave before recommending Article 15 punishment. Holloway appeared again. "Sergeant Pruitt, that's my tool. I signed it out this morning. Brennan's just using it." Another lie. I could see the anger in Pruitt's face. He knew something was up but couldn't prove it. "Your squad is sloppy, Holloway." "I'm watching them." Third time was during a field exercise. I'd been awake for 36 hours straight, completely exhausted. Fell asleep on guard duty for maybe 10 minutes. Woke up to find Pruitt standing over me. His face had this satisfied smile, like he'd finally caught me doing something he could nail me for. Falling asleep on guard duty is serious. People get court-martialed for that. My career was over. "Brennan, you just ended your military service. I'm reporting this to the commander." Before I could respond, Holloway's voice came from behind me. "He wasn't asleep, Sergeant. I told him to close his eyes and practice tactical breathing. Helps with alertness during long shifts." Pruitt exploded. "Bullshit! I watched him for 5 minutes. He was snoring." "He was doing the breathing exercise I taught him. Sometimes makes noise. Totally normal." The lie was so obvious even I almost laughed. But Holloway maintained this completely serious expression. Pruitt got in his face. "You're covering for your soldier. That makes you just as guilty." "I'm correcting your misunderstanding of my training methods, Sergeant." After Pruitt stormed off, I finally asked Holloway what was happening. Why he kept lying for me, taking heat from a senior NCO. He just said, "Pruitt's toxic, not letting him destroy another good soldier." I thought that was the end of it. But 2 months later, everything came together. Inspector General showed up at our company, announced they were investigating complaints about hostile leadership environment. Everyone knew it was about Pruitt. Turns out Holloway had been documenting everything for 8 months. Every soldier Pruitt harassed, every false accusation, every time he'd created a hostile environment. He'd collected witness statements from soldiers who transferred out, recorded conversations where Pruitt admitted he enjoyed making soldiers quit, gathered evidence of him falsifying counseling statements. The night I fell asleep on guard duty, Holloway had stayed up the entire time watching both me and Pruitt. Recorded Pruitt waiting for me to fall asleep. Documented that Pruitt never tried to wake me, just waited to catch me in the act. That's when I realized every time Holloway had covered for me, he wasn't just being nice. He was preventing Pruitt from creating documentation that could destroy my career while he built his case against him. All those lies weren't just protecting me in the moment, they were buying time until he had enough evidence to take Pruitt down permanently. Inspector General's investigation lasted 6 weeks. Pruitt got relieved of duty. Investigated for toxic leadership and abuse of authority. Retired early rather than face potential demotion. Holloway got promoted to Sergeant First Class ahead of schedule. 5 soldiers who'd been forced out of the platoon got their records corrected and apologies from command. At his promotion ceremony, I asked him why he'd risked his own career to protect us. He could have just kept quiet, avoided Pruitt's attention. "Because that's what squad leaders do," he said. "Protect their soldiers, even from other NCOs." Last I heard, Holloway runs leadership training courses now, teaching new squad leaders how to recognize toxic behavior and document it properly. The Army gave him an award for improving organizational climate. Pruitt's working security at a shopping mall in Kansas, still telling anyone who'll listen about his glory days.